Thanks for tuning in to the Thumb Strong podcast. If you could, please like and subscribe to help us reach more people and help them get started in their fitness journey. Thanks and enjoy the episode.
All right, welcome everybody. We're live for another episode of the Thumb Strong podcast. This is episode 199, almost to that 200 mark.
Almost.
Just me and D-Wedge today. Taylor's in a conference, and then Caitlin's got an appointment baby. So today we're going to be discussing 7 top hot topics in fitness right now: fitness, nutrition, health, all that good stuff. And so it makes sense. Number 1, you want to start with number 1?
Yeah, sure. Number 1 is AI-powered personalized fitness, which is pretty popular right now. And that kind of encompasses like your Fitbits and your Apple Watches and Garmin's. They're definitely common among runners, like myself.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like Garmin's. And I guess people use them to track their steps a lot, too.
Right.
There definitely are a lot of benefits to wearing one, like even just a step counter, right? If you have a step goal, which is a big part of like daily activity, is a big part of the weight loss journey, right?
Right.
And mileage tracker gives you real-time updates on heart rate. Some even do blood pressure, or like heart rate variability now, like to track your recovery and sleep. So there definitely are a lot of benefits.
Yeah. Have you looked at any of the AI coaching apps?
No, I have not.
So I have, and it's quite interesting because you can. So essentially, they want it so that it can replace personal trainer.
Okay.
And so you can put up a video, like Zing is one of the more popular apps.
Okay.
So you can put up, and it can track, watch your movement, like it can tell like which points in your body. Like they've had this for a while of like they'll put a point at like each joint and see how you're moving, and it'll tell you stuff to improve and things like that. Yeah. And then like the AI part of it is it'll map the program to you automatically.
Maybe you tell them your goals are very similar to what we do, probably.
Yeah, it is very similar. So yeah, you tell them their goals. They're like, okay, yep, here's your program. Boom, you go in, like, do the workouts, log the workouts, that type of thing. It can take a video of you or like watch you do the workout, and then give you. I don't know if it gives you cues or anything like that, or how good it is at it.
Yeah. But
I know that it exists. And then same thing with, it'll automatically adjust your workout of like, oh, this set was really hard at 50 pounds. Then next time I'm going to recommend you do 45 pounds. And, you know,
interesting.
Things like
that. So
that.
you can tell how hard it is just by watching?
That part I don't know.
Okay, yeah.
That's of like, if you're reporting, hey, I only got 8 reps and it wanted you to get 10.
Maybe you tell it or you type it.
Yeah, you would type it in and then it would auto-generate stuff.
I didn't even know that was a thing, to be honest.
Yeah.
I kind of thought it was just like the Watson, like everything like that.
Yeah, so I mean that's what it, you know, it says like Whoop and stuff like that, but realistically, I mean, it's going to get to a point where it probably could do a very similar thing.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if they can program personality into a personal trainer. The only thing is there's no physical movement. Like sometimes people respond better from more of a like physically moving them in the right position, or they like, you know, they like to see it and be told what to do, and then like help them as they're doing, you know. So
using
it's not
verbal and visual cues.
Right, and then sometimes physical cues to keep them. So, I mean, it's come a far way as it is already.
Yeah.
But
it's
even using like ChatGPT, and I'll like talk to ChatGPT about different workouts, or like it'll help me design things for myself, or like meal plans.
Oh, yeah.
Like I'll be like, hey, I want this many meals and recipes that are easy to make and using the ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be like, oh, yep, here's this, and it hits 30 grams of protein per meal, and this, and this. So, I mean, if you give it the information, it has that base of knowledge, so it can either learn your preferences and then give you recommendations based on that, too.
Well, you can also now, I think you've done it with a couple different, you can program the ChatGPT itself to like be an expert in a certain topic.
Yeah, so that's like on the ChatGPT, you can make your own GPTs. Like, not that the general version couldn't do it too, but you can say, hey, educate yourself on Gordon Ramsay level of chef, right?
Yeah.
And so then you go to that GPT as like your meal help, like cooking helper, right? Your cooking teacher. You could do one for business. You could do one for finance. You could do one for DIY home stuff. I've sent it pictures of, hey, how do I fix this? And then it tells me or sends me a YouTube video. Yeah. And a lot of times it's actually great when it sends you YouTube videos or like direct things to Amazon.
Wow.
Because it has full access to the internet.
Yeah, I did not know that.
Yeah. It can do a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gonna take over, you know. Well, actually it could, but you never know. We're just gonna hope for the best with it and hope to use it with our best intentions. But it's great. Obviously, it's still not to the point of traditional coaching. Can it get there one day? We don't know.
Yeah.
People might still like the very personable part of it. Of like,
I think that's a big part of it, yeah.
Yeah, just
conversations and friendship, you know?
Yeah. I've had some good conversations with my ChatGPT too, but anyways, no, it's good to have like a real person there and, you know, have the personality that's different, and just to have somebody there that's holding you accountable, like an actual person. Like if you let down the ChatGPT, like the AI, you kind of don't care.
I was gonna say, I can't imagine myself getting motivated by a robot behind a computer screen. Are more motivated by that than I would be by somebody.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel required to show up as much as like.
What are you gonna do about it?
Yeah.
GPT.
Yeah, well, maybe one day they're gonna.
An extra rep.
One day when they have the robots and the AI,
they're gonna come for you.
Then they'll come for you. Then they're gonna make you work out.
They're gonna remember every rep you cut short.
Mm-hmm. They'll know exactly how to motivate you, what to say. Man, they really are coming for our jobs. Anyways,
right.
Next topic, mental health integration. So for this one, more of the rise of people paying more attention to their mental health and trying to improve that through mindfulness, meditation, breath work inside the fitness classes. Have you heard or seen any of this? Or
yeah, well, we've actually started, we've been doing it for a little while, implementing it into nutrition as well, with mindful eating, and eating with intention. When you sit down and eat, it was part of our 6-week summer sculpt challenge. When you sit down and eat, you know, no distractions, eat slowly, you know, be aware of your hunger and fullness cues as you're eating, as well as just like throughout the day, kind of being in tune with your body. Breath work is a big thing. I've used the box breathing before, where you inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4, and just go across. I don't know if there's like a certain recommended time to do it, but I just gotta do it. And it's actually, they say after you work out, if you do that, it helps get you back into your, channeling your like parasympathetic nervous system.
Yeah, more of that calm state,
relaxed, rest and digest state, as they say, which is supposed to help muscle growth and recovery. If you're, because if you're always in your sympathetic or your fight or flight, you know, after a workout, you're not going to recover as well. Your sleep's not going to be as good.
Yeah, that essentially gets into the chronic stress that a lot of people have. They always have this chronic low rate of stress, or you know, that elevated level of cortisol and all that kind of stuff. An interesting thing that I was just looking into is about clutter. And so just having things like laying around or not organized, it's just, you know, there's clutter. It's not super, you know, stuff laying around. It's not dirty, but there's just clutter around. It's shown to affect women more than men as far as hormonally. Well, not necessarily hormonally. It'd be through cortisol, which then can affect your hormones. So it's two things. But you can get like a chronic state of elevated cortisol just from having more clutter and like having a cluttered environment visually.
Yeah.
And that affects women through that, hormonally, sleep, all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so that was
Interesting.
kind of interesting. Yeah. So
Oh.
like,
That makes sense though.
it's like
I mean-
Jordan Peterson said, just make your bed, clean your room.
Yeah.
But yeah, having at least like one space is like chill, and there's nothing that's like
Yeah.
bothering you visually.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. And then screen time. Oh, I've been on the rabbit hole of that. I mean, if we're not looking at our phones, we're looking at a computer or a TV usually.
Yeah.
And there's screens everywhere. You really can't escape it because there's, you know,
Yeah.
a TV in the doctor's office, and there's all of this, and we're never forced. We're rarely forced to just sit ourselves with our thoughts and like in silence with
Yeah.
no stimulation.
The other
Right?
day I was getting so mad at myself because I was sitting there on my phone at home, scrolling, doom scrolling, and then I'm like, I gotta put this down. I put it down, and I'm like,
But I want it.
I'm bored. I'm so bored. Just to pick it back up, to stop scrolling again. It's like this cycle, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many other better things that I could be doing, but I don't know.
Yeah.
You just get into it and start to get out.
Yeah, because it's not comfortable being bored. We are not comfortable being bored anymore. I think it used to be. We used to
Yeah.
like it.
For having no stimulation, right?
Yeah, and like sometimes even in craving that, just like I just need to sit in my car with it being quiet and like, you know, you have those moments.
You're
just, like, I just need to
overstimulated.
sit there, or I just need to like lay on the floor and
Uh-huh.
like have everything off. But yeah, it's just because we're overstimulated so much
Mhm.
that our brain doesn't have that time to rest. Like people like say, oh yeah, I think so much better in the shower.
Wonder why.
It's because you're not being stimulated by your phone or
Yeah.
anything, and so your brain actually gets a break to think and to be a little bored.
Yeah.
And so it's like, wow, okay, that makes sense. That's kind of crazy.
It's probably where creativity comes from, right?
Yeah.
When you think, we went to this, when I was living in Detroit, me and my sister went for a hike at, I believe, Cranbrook. I think it was Cranbrook, is the name of the school. And it's one of the most prestigious art schools in the country.
Okay.
It's a smaller school, but it's completely isolated from, it's in the middle of a city, I can't remember which city surrounding Detroit, but it's completely isolated from everything. And anybody can go there. It's public during certain hours, and you can walk there, but just the environment there is incredible. There's gardens, there's these beautiful trees, and sidewalks and monuments or statues, and like it's impossible not to be inspired or feel creative when you're walking around there. And it's designed that way for a reason, right? Because there's these, you know, it's just, you don't want to be on your phone. You want to go outside. You want to walk around. You want to see these and experience those things. And
that's huge. Getting outside in nature and everything like that. The stat that I found, I talked to ChatGPT about it, and I was like, so what's the minimum amount of screen time before you start getting negative mental effects of like more anxiety, more depression, poor sleep, like it just affects so much. But the safe amount is 8 hours of screen time total.
8 hours?
8 hours total.
Per day?
Yes.
Holy crap.
That's your minimum. So that's computer. That's your phone.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It's not just phone screen time.
Yeah.
It's phone, work computer, TV.
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
Video games.
it sounds like a lot. Yeah, video games, anything where you're looking at a screen to do it, whether it's work or not.
Yeah.
Work you can get away with a little bit longer stints, obviously, because you got to do it for work. And that, yes, it kind of strains your eyes and stuff, but it doesn't have as many mental negatives as far as like your phone does. Because typically when you go on your phone, it's not for something that's productive.
Yeah.
The most productive anyways. And like
Good point.
TV. So it goes like computer for work is like, okay, like that can fill up like most of the screen time and you can be okay, or even more screen time. TV, because it doesn't have as many quick hits of dopamine as like scrolling TikTok or Instagram does, or even YouTube, like scrolling YouTube shorts on your phone. But on a TV, like you're kind of you gotta watch the full episode that's 30 minutes long, right?
Mhm.
It's not just like constant change and stimulation. They're like, okay, I'm gonna go on to this app, so I'm bored of this one, so I'm gonna go to this one, and you can do it all just sitting there,
Yeah.
not doing anything, not moving. Whereas TV, it invites more. You can be more of a social aspect too, like whether you're with your family, roommates,
Discuss
friends. Yeah, you can at least like watch together. You're like in the same room. Whereas if you're in your phone,
There's no social connection.
right?
At all.
It's like if I'm over here scrolling and you're talking to me, I'm gonna hear you, but I'm not really gonna be listening to you.
Yeah.
So there's no connection happening with that.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. If you can reduce your screen time, it's gonna really help your mental health. You'd be surprised, and be bored more often.
Yeah. Yeah, not a bad thing.
Yeah, get bored. Go sit outside. Don't do
Yeah.
anything. See how slow time goes. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
Because like if you just sit, like I just sat outside with one of the cats outside, and I felt like it probably was a good half an hour, and it was only like 10, 15 minutes. Like it felt like I was sitting out there for so long, and it's like, wow, okay, so just giving myself that mental break makes it feel like you got a much longer break than you did, I guess.
Yeah.
Because you're used to being stimulated so much. I lost. What's the third one, Lauren?
Third one, fitness for older adults. I think a lot of gyms and programming is being tailored towards older individuals now. Like they're definitely becoming more aware of that population and inclusive.
Mm-hmm.
And it's starting to become known that it's not too late to start working out. You know, no matter what age, you can build muscle, right? And you can benefit from having more muscle.
Yeah, build strength, ability.
Yeah.
It's just something that older adults are more afraid of is like, falling and breaking something, or just, not being able to play with grandkids, things like that. They have other motivations, rather than just like, oh, I want to look good.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like that at a point, well, I guess everybody's different, but I know for some people, that's more of a focus in like their 20s, 30s, 40s, maybe 50s. And then after a while, like, it's something you still care about, but it's not to the level of when you're
priority.
younger. Yeah. You have it's more of a priority for you of like, hey, I still want to have that functioning, functional fitness and the ability to do things. Like that becomes more at the forefront of the motivation than like, oh, I want to look good for summer. It's like that. I think that becomes more primary motivation.
Yeah. And with a lot of my older clients, we create a routine and we stick to it and we get really good at it, right? And it's very basic, whether it's just stepping up onto a step over, for a certain amount of reps.
Yeah.
And maybe we add some weight into your hands and step up, or we squat down to a box, or we lift the kettlebell up and up off the ground and back down, like simulating just bending over and grabbing something, right?
Or just carrying a kettlebell.
Carrying a kettlebell. Yep, working on our balance. There's a lot of different, very basic exercises that you can do that will benefit you more than you know.
Yeah. And I mean, I worked with a couple, they were 80 and 83. Mm-hmm. And I mean, they've stayed in great shape. Like they've been, they weren't here this summer, they were here 2 summers ago, something like that.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, and he ran like 5Ks almost every weekend and stuff, but they were always very active, but they were just so full of energy and life, and they pretty much always had a smile on their face, and I mean they were just in great shape and had good energy, and I'm like, shoot, I want to be like that when I'm 83. I'm like just bouncing around, like, okay, we're gonna dance a little bit, it's fun. Like, man,
they did do that, didn't they?
Yeah, and they had some great stories too. That's sometimes like the most fun is like talking to people that are retired and they've like lived through so much time, and so they have all this life experience. So it's just fun to talk to them about that.
They're just a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah, and they're like, that's so interesting. Like you worked on the mission to send a man to the moon, like Apollo 13, I think.
Yeah,
he was like worked for NASA at that point, and like worked on the Ford Bronco, like the first one. Yeah, like this,
That's
like how
completely
design-
different. Yeah.
completely different. Well, I think it's like engineering or something for
Yeah.
both,
Oh,
or
yeah.
something like
Okay.
that. I don't remember exactly, but like he did both of those, and I was like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, that's crazy to think. I don't know. It just blows your mind.
That is
And
pretty
so then
crazy.
they're like, yeah, and their main goal is just, hey, we want to keep in shape,
Yeah.
keep living life,
Yeah.
having a blast.
Want to be able to dance?
Yeah, exactly. Want to be able to dance, have fun. I think that's a big thing. Is like,
Yeah.
as long as people enjoy what they're doing long term, like dancing is great for keeping people limber and mobile and balanced. But even just, I mean, the ladies that I see power walking,
Mhm.
I mean, they do their laps. You know, people go to the mall apparently in the cities and do that.
Oh, really?
And just like go power walking. They're walking fast too, like
I believe it.
15 minutes per mile or
Oh,
something.
yeah.
Like they're just cooking
Yeah.
it, right? And then I remember at Elbury, there's always these ladies who'd be up walking at like before sunrise. So you always got to be watching out for them. They usually have reflective vests on,
Yeah.
but they're always up way before the sunrise and getting after it.
Good
And
for them.
those people live till like 80 or something, 80, 90. And they're out there doing that, right?
Yeah.
Yoga is another good thing, like that mobility and
Yeah.
stability.
Definitely.
Let's see.
Move on to the next one.
Yeah, we'll move on to the next one.
All right. Number 4. Sustainable fitness practices. Well, we talk about this a lot. Sustainability, which is harder than you think, and not a lot of people are very good at making sustainable fitness practices. But
Yeah.
this talks a lot about at-home workouts. Asking if is it more sustainable than gyms? What do you think?
Oh, it looks more sustainability as far as like eco-friendly.
Oh,
That's what it
oh,
looks
okay,
like.
I see what
But
you're
that's
saying
more
now.
of like
That's-
what people
okay.
are looking to try and
That's
do.
interesting. Okay.
So things like biodegradable yoga mats,
Ooh.
sustainable apparel. So there's a lot of clothes brands now that are either focused on like they're like reusing or
Yeah.
recycling clothes to make their clothes.
Yeah.
And I mean, I haven't tried any personally yet.
Do you know brands? What brands those are?
I can't tell you off the top of
No,
my head.
I don't
think
know either. That's cool though.
I think Lululemon has a couple
Do they?
like leggings that are more something. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't remember, but Reebok might have a pair or two. I'm sure each company probably has
Yeah.
their own version of like recycled, eco-friendly material or something like that. So something like that, having more, just more like recycled
Recycled flooring.
flooring, yeah.
Interesting. And green walls. I'm not too familiar with a lot of this actually, but that'd be something interesting
Yeah.
to look into.
Yeah.
Apparently it's a hot topic though.
Yeah, carbon neutral
I didn't know
brands, fitness brands, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just being conscious consumers. And yeah, I get that of like, and I mean, a lot of
Sure,
equipment
yeah.
we get is, some stuff we get brand new, and then sometimes we'll get it as like a resale.
Yeah.
Like the new thing we
Yeah.
got was from another gym or
Like
something
wholesaler.
like that, wholesaler, yeah. So that's, I guess, more sustainable than buying something brand new.
Yeah.
Having solar powered, more natural light, I guess.
I do wish we had some more natural light.
Yeah, if we had some skylights, that would
That'd
be pretty
so cool.
sick.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have to have the lights on all the time.
Yeah.
It would save us money too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I mean,
Or
it'd
windows
be
and
a lot of money to install.
Yeah, it would.
solar,
No doubt.
but I think some gyms could be moving more towards that then,
Yeah.
of having like skylights, more natural light instead of like having the fluorescent lights all the time.
Yeah. Like our group fit room, that's
Yeah.
pretty good.
I mean,
That's got when it's sunny out.
yeah, and when the power goes out, like we've worked out before.
You couldn't do that in the
like
in the weight room though.
no, in the weight room you're
Pitch dark.
you're in black.
Yeah. Which is bummer, but
Yeah. That's
I think
interesting.
it's a little bit more. I don't know, something about like just being able to see outside when you're working out. It's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Just opens it up a little bit. Makes everything. It'd probably make everything feel a little bit bigger too. I think.
Yeah, that could be.
You know.
I like it. one of the questions is, are digital/at-home workouts more sustainable than gyms? Honestly, I'd have to disagree with that.
What do you think they mean by that? More
So,
sustainable.
What I believe they mean is that more sustainable in the way that you're using less either energy or less resources
Okay.
when you're at home.
Sure. Yeah.
And I mean, as far as lighting, sure, you're using less power
Yeah.
if you have like a home gym dedicated to it, or like if you just worked out in your living room. As far as that, yes. But as far as the equipment goes, since we have so much equipment here that's shared by 500 members,
Yeah.
that makes it also more sustainable because there's less production, there's less shipping waste, things like that, and it's here for an extended amount of time.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
so, I mean, I guess with like the electricity wouldn't be as sustainable, but
The ratio of like production to use
right, yeah,
is a lot higher than it would be for somebody's home gym. You know what I mean?
right, and especially if like people actually use their home
Yeah.
gym. That's the
Yeah.
other, like
Is it just sitting there
is it
collecting
just-
dust?
yeah.
Or are you,
how sustainable is that if you're not actually using it?
Yeah.
So you just spend all this money on it.
Yeah. True. Good point.
Yeah. Functional fitness for longevity is number 5. So people are starting to care more about functional fitness, longevity, kind of like we talked about with older populations
Mm-hmm.
coming to the gym more. And so first I will define what functional fitness is and why it's more of a trend. I guess it started to be a trend with CrossFit first,
Yeah.
and then there's been things that have branched off of like High Rocks, and then more of like functional fitness training. It's probably been around, but not as popular until now. But it's just movements that are functional. There's 5 basic movement patterns, I think, maybe more.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, somewhere around there. Going through all the different basic movement patterns, making sure that your body is moving well, pain-free,
Yeah.
strong and capable in your everyday life.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty much.
That's a good.
Yeah.
Okay. Definition of it, I would say. And unlike bodybuilding, where not that it's bad, but you're just usually moving through one range of motion or one at a time. Anyways, a lot of times in functional fitness, you're involving like a couple different
Right.
patterns of movement. So it's not just like bench, squat, deadlift, shoulder press, and then some accessories. A lot of times you'll add in some more complex movements like power cleans or kettlebell swings or jumping or lunging in different ways or lunge and twist, like all these different kind of
Right.
more movements that are more, some would say, more applicable to everyday life.
Right. Yeah. It kind of mimics the real life movements that you do.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, farmers carries, like if you're carrying in groceries and sandbag cleans and stuff, things like that, rather than just like a bicep curl. It's like, when do you ever just need to curl 25 pounds?
Exactly.
Unless you want to really grow your biceps, great. But some people are in it more for that functionality too.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, it's great for aging, helping to prevent injuries, recover from injuries, everyday strength, just because you're focusing on preventing muscle imbalances, which can happen if you're like overworking, say, one body part versus another. And by having more of those functional movements, you're able to work not just like a single muscle, but you're also like strengthening the tendons and everything around the joint.
Mm.
So that makes a difference. And then comparing like CrossFit, F45, which is kind of a CrossFit, but it's like it's like CrossFit HIIT boot camp style,
Okay.
but not CrossFit.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, that's one of them. And then kettlebells or like kettlebell circuits.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think? Are those 3 considered functional, or like what would you change about them? To make them more functional?
I would say all of them have their pros and cons, right? I don't think one of them is completely flawless in their functionality functionality, like CrossFit. There's some movements that sometimes I'm like, when am I ever going to do this? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like a pistol squat or a
Yeah.
handstand push-up. It's
Yeah, like I'm not a pro. Like I don't really need to be doing this. Like yeah, it's pretty cool. Looks cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun to do until I
Until your neck
pull my
hurts.
shoulder out.
Yeah, or like until your neck hurts the next day from keeping handstand push-ups.
Yeah, like jawing on my head over and over
Yeah.
again.
You're like, I think this is making me dumber.
Yeah. That's why I keep doing it.
Yeah, there you go.
And then I don't know a lot about F45, but kettlebells. I would honestly, I guess if I had to pick one, I would probably pick kettlebells, just because the way that it's made, there's that imbalance in like weight distribution, which makes it more like things you would carry every day, I guess. And you can use your momentum kind of with it, and I guess it probably takes more stabilizer muscles to control the kettlebell when you're moving it. So, and there's not a bunch of crazy stuff you can do. Like, there's not a bunch of
unless you're doing the juggling stuff.
Yeah,
You ever watch
like,
those videos without like, throwing it up and all that?
I'm like,
You don't need to do that, but
no, they're pretty basic movements that have a lot of benefit to them.
yeah, I mean, I would say even just like a set of kettlebells or a set of dumbbells. And I was talking to somebody about this morning. I'm like, if I could only choose one thing to work out with the rest of my life, it would be dumbbells.
Yeah.
Because I can do like anything that I want to with
For
that.
sure. Yeah.
Like you can train power, you can train strength, you can do the more functional movements, you can do all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I mean, the biggest thing with the functional is making sure you're going through like twisting and rotating and having some motions that are explosive and then some that are more controlled.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it should be all one way or another. We're like,
No.
CrossFit's definitely more of like how much work can you do in such a short amount of time, and then maybe some, bodybuilding is more of like, okay, time under tension, you're controlling everything, but in real life there is going to be some more explosive and reactive movements that you're going to have to do.
Mm-hmm.
And like bodybuilders trying to sprint, like if you look at professional bodybuilders, and it's really fun. You're like watching them try to do a snatch. Or
They're
anything.
so stiff.
Yeah, or like they'll pull a muscle doing that.
Yeah.
And
which I'm probably not far off, so I can't talk too much.
yeah, no, you're not too bad. Not too bad. Okay, number 6, virtual reality workouts. Which honestly, I would be down to try some of these.
I kind of want to try it too.
Yeah.
I don't have a VR, but they sound like fun. I had a couple clients mention these.
Yeah. Have they tried it?
Yeah, I can't remember who it was, but I asked him something like, I was like, oh, did you walk on the treadmill on your day off, or did you get outside and do some activity? I don't remember who it was. They were like, no, but I did. They did something on the VR. I don't know if it was golfing or
Golfing.
or boxing. I don't know what it was.
I could get that. I could
Like
get
that on the
that.
VR. Yeah.
Because
I don't know. It sounds cool though.
what is it? So popular apps are Supernatural, Fit, XR, Les Mills, Body Combat.
Oh, they have that? I didn't know that. That's a good
So
idea.
that's pretty cool.
Maybe we
So
should get Dumb Health and Fitness on the VR.
yeah, there you go. Like, yeah, just move along with the class or something
Yeah.
like that. I mean, that is getting more popular. Even just like following along the fitness videos, but the virtual reality would be cool. Like I've seen the ones where they got like the stick things and they gotta like.
Oh yeah, Beat Saber.
Yeah, Beat Saber. That's
Yeah.
what it is. And I'm like, that looks like a workout. Like
Yeah,
even
it kind of is.
even just doing Just Dance on the Wii.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not virtual reality. This is
But-
peak 2000s technology.
It's a workout.
But it's a workout. Like it gets your heart rate up. You do some like good zone 2, zone 3 cardio in. You're moving. You're doing different like positions and things like just moving your body in different planes.
It just makes it fun too.
Right.
Honestly, like that's kind of what I would consider what we have on the treadmill and the recumbent bike to be VR. Like you go for a walk and it brings up a certain destination.
Yeah.
Occupies your time a little bit, I guess.
Yeah.
So if you ever, I don't know, are as motivated and want to do something that doesn't
Fun.
feel like working out, but it's kind of fun,
There you go.
VR would be good, I guess.
Yeah. All right, we'll move on to number 7. Looks like my computer's about to die pretty soon. It's got like 10%. Number 7, protein chic and gym culture. So I've never heard of protein chic.
I didn't either, but
Um,
not when they described it, it kind of makes sense.
it sounds like muscle mommy. That whole thing.
Is that-
You remember? Yeah.
No, I don't remember that.
You don't remember when that was? Okay. Anyway.
No.
I don't know if it was like a TikTok, Instagram thing. You'll see it. It's
Explain.
probably gonna pop up on your computer now. Now
Probably.
that I just
Wait, what is it? Explain.
muscle mommy is just like, instead of the whole like 2000s be as skinny and small as possible,
Yeah.
it's like the women that are in the gym hitting their workouts, like they have that good muscle mass. Like they're still lean, but they're like muscle mommies.
Nice. Okay.
There's like a whole just go on Instagram or TikTok and look up muscle mommy, and then
Then it's gonna be my whole feed.
and it's gonna be your whole feed then.
Yeah.
And so that sounds a lot like protein chic.
Yeah.
Of like gym fashion as an identity. So people wearing, I mean, a lot of clothing brands are coming out with athletic streetwear
Mm-hmm.
versions. So I know Lululemon's done this. Some other, like Gymshark,
Raw.
There's a few other ones.
VPN's got some stuff.
VPN, which is I'm trying to think of. It's not coming to me.
C-Bomb, I don't know if he has. Oh, he's Raw, I think.
I think there's no.
What's Bradley Martin's? Zoo Culture?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
There's another one I'm trying to think of. I think like Jesse James West uses it, and I can't remember which
Yeah.
it is.
There's a lot.
Yeah, there's so many of them, so it's, there's different ones for different people and like a little bit different styles. Alpha Lee's one of them, but
Oh, yeah, there you go. It has become an
Yeah.
entire culture.
it's a whole thing
A
of like,
fashion statement.
when you go out, like you're wearing these like gym-esque clothes, so then that
Oh,
way
yeah.
people know that you work out or something
Yeah.
like that. Which is, I mean, it's great that it's part of your identity, and like more of like wellness aesthetics is improving. Of, it's good to see women that want bigger muscles. They don't just want to be as tiny and small as they can be. So I think that's great. Unfortunately, now there's a little bit more influence from Ozempic or other things that are kind of shifting it a little towards like being skinny and small again. So I don't know. It's kind of a never-ending pendulum.
Yeah.
Kind of swings back and forth.
It does. Same with like the guys who are like, there's people on Instagram and TikTok, like the Trend Twins, like
Oh
people who
yeah.
are trying to get like absolutely massive and look like these two guys that are on performance enhancing drugs, and it's impossible to do that without them.
Yeah.
So they're being influenced by these two guys, and it's like,
Yeah.
you know,
Trends in their name. So obviously.
yeah, it's a interesting way to go about it, because working out is good. It's
Yeah.
good that you're being healthy, but at the same time, you're kind of being a little counterproductive with going too far with it. You know what I mean? And that's where that whole like fashion culture,
Like the influencer
Yeah,
culture. kind of
influencer.
comes in.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's another market that people can
Yeah.
market to. Like
That's true.
it's capitalism. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a market and an audience for it that are willing to buy that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Then they're more likely going to.
Yeah.
So I mean, I get it. Like if it helps to spread, maybe somebody sees their shirt and it's like, oh, that's cool, and
hmm
they start talking about working out, and then decide to go. Great.
Yeah.
But
And I don't want to say that not all the influencers are bad. Like there are some I think there are some good ones. Absolutely.
oh yeah, there's some good
Who are
ones.
very realistic and true to themselves,
Mhm.
who they are, and they're not putting on fake show
Right.
for the crowd.
And then some are.
And then some are. Yeah.
Which you can, if you're diligent in it, you can tell the difference between the two of them.
Yeah.
Like some people are very raw and real, and they show everything, and
Mhm.
maybe not everything, but they show both sides of it.
Mhm.
Will Tennyson did great with that with his prep, and he just did a bodybuilding competition. So he was very good at showing all the sides of everything, and honest emotions and things he was going through, being like an ex-competitor and things like that. And there's some people that do use performance-enhancing drugs and supplements, like things like that.
Mhm.
They're honest about how that affects them and what, to do before you even consider taking it.
Yeah.
So. I
Yeah,
think
that's good that there's people out there like that.
Right, exactly. All right. So that is the 7 hot topics in fitness, nutrition, and the health space right now. It's good to kind of go over all these new things. I guess I learned a couple of things.
Yeah, me too.
A couple of things I didn't know that was out there. But there's always new things popping up in the fitness and nutrition space. So the biggest thing is honestly the basics. If you keep that consistent the whole time, you'll be fine. There's going to be new things all the time popping up. But it's good to try those out sometimes. Or, see if you like it, like the VR stuff. That'd be fun to try.
Yeah, I would.
Or like work on being more sustainable with the clothes that you're getting or things like that, if that's something that you care about. So, it's great, but obviously focus on the 20% of it that gets you most of your results, right?
Yep.
That's the basics. So,
Exactly.
if you guys have any questions or any ideas for future topics, please reach out, send us a DM,
Let us
comment. Remember to like, subscribe, put a comment, send it to a friend, all that kind of stuff. All right, until next time, have a great week, and then we'll be back here with all 4 of us.